So this is Seek Etiliv. It's a pretty small little indie game that feels like Road Not Taken meets Tic-Tac-Toe. It's telling a story, but it's really mostly a little puzzle game. So it says, those are the last words I heard before getting pushed into this hole. There I am. That's me. Me with my skeleton. And I'm this little guy on a little 3x3 grid. And there's lots of different objectives I might have. In this case, I'm trying to go to the stairs. Boom. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't my fault. So these stepping stones, I believe, represent your progress towards the end of the game. So right now, okay, it starts pretty simple. I just got to shove things around until I can get to the stairs. This game does a very good job of step-by-step introducing you to new elements and new mechanics and letting you kind of figure them out on your own. This dungeon is called Kharanos, Prison of Thieves. So I'm on the second stepping stone now. Uh-oh, there's a monster. All right, so there's a monster in the middle. And he's scary. And now we've got a tutorial for how monsters work. Okay, so when you step within the square around a monster, they wake up. And now that they're awake, if you get next to them, they bump you away. And they'll keep doing that unless you approach them a different direction. If you hit them from the side, now I'm close enough that I can actually bump him off, I can hit him against the wall and then destroy him. And it works the same way. So you always want to approach a monster directly, not diagonally, so that you have a chance to bump him before he bumps you. So, yeah, he's going to bump me if I do that, but if I move around, then he goes to sleep. It's kind of fun watching him go to sleep. Okay. So you can see they're sort of putting together the building blocks of some puzzles. So to get a guy to go to sleep, I have to move around. And to kill him, I have to approach him from a very specific angle. And just knocking him doesn't kill him. I have to actually knock him off the edge in order to kill him. All right, that was the tutorial. So now, dealing with this guy. I gotta say, if I'm gonna face a monster in a dungeon, I'd prefer it to be a narcoleptic monster. I killed to survive. Much like I did in my former life. Cloudcraft points out that this sort of very simple grid-based game is a great way to sort of, for one thing, it's a very simple, straightforward kind of setup for if you're brand new to developing indie games, you want to do something that's fairly simple and accessible. Coming up with a very simple structure for your game and having it just be, be turn-based and move, one little action at a time. It's much more straightforward and it's easier to handle. And he points out that it's also great practice for teaching people mechanics, because you have to think, to come up with very simple mechanics and then come up with very simple ways to teach them. If somebody's out there and they want to start making indie games, this is the kind of thing, the kind of place that you should start. Now, not saying that this game is like too facile or simple, or I don't want to denigrate this game by suggesting it's the kind of thing that an amateur could make, because this is not an amateurish game. Especially like you look at there's some very subtle touches in the way that the art works and the way the feedback works. Like when the way that the character moves, it's not there. He's not just sliding. Like there's some subtleties of the way that he moves that make it feel more, I don't know, more artful than you may think. So now I've got some kind of necklace on. Thief. Out of all the trades I jacked, got caught for the most petty crime. Right, so I don't actually know what that extra pair of ribs that I got, or that necklace, or whatever it is. I'm not actually sure what it does. Maybe it's just a marker of my progress? But that's a marker of my progress, too. All right, so I got one wakey guy, one sleepy guy. So if I go over here, take out the sleepy guy, then take out the wakey guy, because he fell asleep during the time I was dealing with the other dude. That works. When I heard of her, it was September. Sunk in over time, as few stories do. Oh, Asgard's asking me about... So I've got a new location to stream from at the office. All this is a new space. The main advantage of this is the fact that I'm not in the way of other people who, because the place where we were set up to stream before was right in front of our nicest TV and our nicest computer that we have at the office, which is what we use for testing our really like high-end stuff. And so people needed that TV and that computer all the time. And so when I was streaming on it, it was kind of inconvenient for the office. So now I've moved into this new space here where we're in the same room, but we're in the back and we're using different hardware, and which is great because then we won't get in each other's way. I can leave it up all the time, and I'm not constantly tearing it down and setting it up and sharing it with other people because that can lead to a lot of hardware headaches that sometimes even entire streams would have to be canceled because something changed in the hardware and nobody can figure out exactly what went wrong. Cloudcraft says that yes, I've basically been banished to the corner. That's that's what's going on with me. That's fine. I'm happy to be in the corner as long as I get to keep streaming. So, okay, so I've got a guy next to me who's awake and a guy who's asleep, who's probably going to wake up as soon as I do anything. So, if I attack the guy to my left, the guy above me kills me. By the way, check this out. So this is the exact same setup now. I've respawned, but the setup is rotated 90 degrees. I think that's really interesting. Like, part of it just sort of makes it feel like a roguelike in that, the level is different each time you go. Obviously, the puzzle is not different. I mean, rotating at 90 degrees doesn't change any of the elements of the challenge. But it also lets me look at it from another angle, which, sometimes you'll notice, like, with a spatial relationships type puzzle, sometimes it really helps to turn it upside down or turn it sideways or something like that and look at it from a new angle. And so if you're having trouble solving a particular board in this game, they're constantly rotating it for you to help you sort of see it from every angle, which I think I appreciate. It helps them. It feels like they understand the way that I think. So that's nice. So I should attack the one who's awake first, because then the other one just barely wakes up, and then I can knock him away. And now I actually can waste time by bumping myself into the wall and let these guys go to sleep, and then I can murder them. Wonderfully crafted. I agree. Every syllable and rhyme's a surprise. Okay. So I think I need to bump against the ceiling. Oh. Aha. So the guys, I'm already within the detection sphere of those two guys that are closest to me. So I can't have them go to sleep. If I walk in like that, one of them uses me to kill the other, which is hilarious. And now I've got a place I can go to put them both to sleep. But if I go into either of these spots, it wakes somebody up. So I might have already screwed things up because that guy's awake. And now he bumps me out of the way. Similarly, that guy. And then he kills me. So I've solved this before, but now I can't remember exactly what I did before. Clearly moving... Okay, so I gotta have the top guy go to sleep first. Then I move here, get that guy killed. But I think I have to kill that guy. That guy bumps me. And now I can kill him. Batcat wonders if Brian Thursdays are going to come back. Well, I can certainly mention to Brian that you liked Brian Thursdays, but I don't actually have permission to do my personal stream from here all the time. In fact, I just realized I left the door open, so I might be bothering some people. But yeah, I'm not actually supposed to be doing my personal stream here all the time. I'm actually doing a stream here so that I can test all the hardware, because I've moved everything over, and there's a good chance of something going wrong. So I'm just doing this as a test. I'm not actually going to be here most of the time. So usually I'll still be streaming from my desk during the days like I always have. Unpolished yet flawless. You would think it was foreign if you knew any less. So as long as I never end one of my turns at the edge with an enemy ready to push me over, I'm probably going to be fine. I think it's cool that you remember Brian Thursdays, though, Batcat. We did have a few, a few good ones in a row. Actually, some of my most popular videos were videos where Brian was explaining things to me. I think that my audience is a very Brian-y audience. They tend to like and be interested in a lot of the same stuff that Brian is. See, I like that there's lots of little visual touches here. I mean, things that they didn't have to do, like the stepping stone progress and the story that they're telling. It's like there's more to this game than just, hey, I made a grid. You know, that's what you'd make if you're an amateur. This game, you know, was put together by people who definitely, you know, knew artistically what they wanted to create. So I've got a sword now. So now that I have a sword, what that means is I can survive my first interaction with an enemy where he tries to kill me. So that guy tried to attack me and he died. Now I don't have my sword anymore though, so I gotta deal with the other guy the traditional way. Daunting but natural. I expected no less. In ropes and chains they had me dressed. Hey there, Blade of Meat Shield. I agree that Brian is awesome. Okay, so that guy, I don't want him to get a sword. But my only option is to move into him. I like this. They set it up so that I only have one valid move. And when I make that move, it teaches me the new mechanic. It's like, I like that. It feels like they didn't need to. They'd use the contrivances that are already in the game to teach me things rather than making up new contrivances for a tutorial. It's always what you're looking for when you're coming up with a tutorial experience. You want the player to feel like they're still playing the game the way they normally would, and they're being exposed to and taught mechanics, rather than being taken out of the normal experience, or having their normal options, you know, constrained in some artificial way in order to teach them something. So a blade, if the reason I couldn't go. Oh, actually, let me just get killed by this guy and I'll show you. I can't go around him. If I go around him to get the sword, he bumps me. So the only thing I can do is move into him. And if I get next to him, he'll kill me. But now I've got a sword. Our swords cancel out, and then I win. So I've got a little bit of an edge on the opponents here. At times I'd wonder whether or not you were someone I wish to have met. And I can push him off a cliff, and also the graves. Oh, Batcat said that he actually bought Stellaris on the strength of Brian recommending it to him. Well, I've got a lot of stuff to say to Brian now. Sanity check. A heavy toll on our feet. The journey took long, weeks to complete. Has this been rhyming the whole time, or did it start at some point? Okay, so this guy's got a sword, but I can take the sword away by bumping him. Oh, but I gotta get him asleep before I can attack him. Did not utter a word the whole way, except for the final warning not to stay. Uh-oh. Oh, well. Ta-da. I can't jump off a cliff. I want to. See, little touches like that, that's what makes this game not an amateur game. Yeah, so he's going to murder me. Okay, so I can't open the chest from this side because the sword's going to go off the edge. I need to open the sword, open the chest against the wall so that the sword bounces to the other side of me. Then I can get the sword and he will kill himself. Go away. I like how I have to clear every board. It's kind of like when I'm playing God of War and I'm running around and I feel like I have to destroy every single chest and every single barrel and every single rack of weapons that I see, every table, every chair. And my son is like, I'm trying to teach him all of these lessons about, you know, being strong and being stoic and making good decisions and all this stuff. Meanwhile, I'm running around like a weirdo, like breaking everything. I feel this game's giving me a similar vibe. Okay. Okay, now I'm in a position where Okay, so that's not the direction I should go. I should go this way. Get the sword. That guy... Nope. That way? Oh, yes, I remember. We did this one yesterday. And the point was I had to get that guy out of the middle. As long as that guy was in the middle, my freedom of movement was so bad. This is what reminds me of Tic-Tac-Toe about this game, is when somebody's in the middle, that gives them so many options. They're just, you know, it's very difficult to deal with them. So that guy had to get out of the middle. And then I can deal with everybody else. Oh, Taylor just noticed some new streaming digs. Yeah, as I was explaining to other folks before, we just moved to a different part of the room in here so that I can have my streaming set up here without getting in the way of other people who are using the room for other purposes. Oh, wait, no, that's not going to work. I think I have to get that guy first. Oh, dang. Haha! Okay, so I needed the corner guy to be asleep when the bottom guy knocked me into his range. Death was always lingering near. Imagine the dread, woods, and despair. So dread and despair are both they're feelings. Wood isn't. It's only a feeling if you interpret it a certain way, and I think only a Blade of Meat Shield would interpret it that way. Okay, so I don't know what that tile below me is. It's telling me that I can use the space bar. Okay, so that's just a message. So the space bar will target different things in the room and tell me about them. So it'll remind me that guy has a sword, that guy does not. So what I need to do, deal with that guy first, then use a grave to take his sword away. Let him go to sleep, and then murder him. This dungeon took hold of my mind. Said seek, and I thought, et live divine. Okay, go to sleep. I found a pond, an unusual sight here. Bathing nymphs in appropriate wear. Okay. I'm starting to strain to get at these rhymes now. The first one I saw had a pleasant aura. That doesn't look like a nymph to me. I think my guy might be hallucinating. What? I knock his brain off and then I have to stomp his brain to kill him? Is that what this was? I named her Flora? I think we might be talking about... I think the monster and the person might be different. So this one doesn't sleep? How do I... Oh, but I can tempt it. Okay, so ideally... Okay, so I can tempt it to walk close to me, then knock its brain off, then squish its brain. Okay, that works. Asgard asks me what my favorite poem is. Oh, that's a hard one. I'll have to... It's not a hard one because I just know so many poems. It's a hard one because I know so few poems. So I don't feel like I have a lot to choose from. was a famous piece of doggerel that I really liked. I can't remember it now. It's like almost Dadaist. Well, that's frustrating. Oh. But I can make him go to sleep and make him chase me. Okay, well that worked. I just needed to not move anywhere. You know what? Ablative, Shel Silverstein is actually Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss might be one of my favorite poets. All right. So if I kill this one, that one knocks me off, so. Oh, wait. Okay, so wait for them to go to sleep. Attract this one. Oh, wait. Why do I keep screwing it up? Wait for them to go to sleep. Attract this one. Attack that one. Get knocked away. Stomp a brain. I think Flora was a concept herself. Didn't speak, but the message was clear. Oh, we're not rhyming anymore? What happened? So, Drac, this is... Oh, I always say the name wrong. Etiliv? Etiliv? Seek Etiliv. That's right. It's Seek Etiliv. And I described it as... Whoa, they kill each other. Sweet. I described it as tic-tac-toe meets... Oh, what was it? I forget the name of the game every time. It's by Spry Fox. Road Not Taken. Etiliv meets Road Not Taken, because it's all about cleverly moving around in a grid. And sorry, Tic-Tac-Toe meets Road Not Taken, because it's cleverly moving around in a grid to try to, rid yourself of enemies and accomplish objectives, but the grid is Tic-Tac-Toe sized, and it's really tiny, and it's just a series of little puzzles interspersed with a poem. Okay, so that guy just won't go anywhere if he's restricted like that. I can kill that guy, and then knock his brain out. Okay. We are starting to get towards the end of my time, and I don't want to play this entire game on the stream. I feel like I'd be doing a disservice to the developers. So as we're getting into some of the harder challenges, I feel like maybe I should leave off in just a second. Okay, that didn't do anything. Okay, so the guy who's sleeping is the first one I need to go after. Nope. Okay. Guy who's sleeping, still the one I need to go after. Knock his brain out. And I can kill him with his skull. Okay, cool. Yeah, Drac, Road Not Taken is a really cool game. You should check it out. I think that, I can't remember, it's not that expensive. I think it's available on iPad and on PlayStation, I want to say. And I think on PC, but it's kind of, it's one of those like merging games. It's like you find three like things put them next to each other and they merge, but it's also moving around on a grid and like sort of, it's not just about merging, it's about like there's like different items on this grid will have different interactions with each other. You have to try to push them around and make them interact with each other to change the board so that you can get to your objectives. And some of them are aggressive, and and it's also got kind of a roguelike vibe to it. Like there's a lot of interesting weird stuff going on in that game. It's totally worth checking out. Okay, it looks like oh, some ducks. Okay, looks like I'm on to a new chapter, and it's getting close to 1 o'clock. So I should probably just cut it off here so that we don't end up, streaming this entire game and doing a disservice to developers. If you liked what you saw, I definitely would, this was a fun challenge. You can get through the first half of it pretty easily, and then see what kind of weird challenges they have in the future chapters. So, in the meantime, though... Okay, so hitting escape just progresses the game. That's not helpful. Huh, I guess I just need to click the X on it. So that's what I'm going to do. And in the meantime, thank you all for coming. I just realized, do I have my... Oh, yeah, I've got my, like, black bar. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, I haven't set up my black bar yet. Oh, let me see if I can make it work. Hold on a second. Do I have it? Yeah, there it is. Boom! Oh, there it is. Okay, so when I put this on YouTube, I'll stick videos there. I'll put a subscribe button there. And thank you for checking out my new digs.